Hello, everybody, and welcome. Hello, Niggles and Apparition. Welcome. Oh my god, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? A brand new adventure. Can you guys believe this? Seriously, I could not. Again, did I pick the right time to get into this series or what? Seriously, or what? Oh my god, hello Kamada, hello Minami. Oh my god, I didn't think hello Guppy Force. Oh my god, you're all ready. There's no sound in the background because I'm at this select language screen. Oh my god. For those who may not be fully aware of what this is the first entry in the overall third big visual novel in the When They Cry series. It's known for being extremely amazing plot twists and character development, and just incredibly heartwarming and terrifying and soul crushing and heart wrenching and gory and just violent, but also beautiful and amazing. Just every emotion you could possibly think of. Hello, James. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, it may start out kind of lighthearted, but the stories have been known to get extremely dark as they go on later. So I'm currently also playing the previous entry in the series, Umineko, at this point, which will resume in 2 days. But oh my god, can you guys believe it? This game was just released today, and I get to play it with you all. Hello, Oe. Lovely to have you here. Oh my god. I cannot wait. You know what? Okay, so just trying to check my sound levels and everything. It might be a bit loud in the beginning. I need you guys to tell me if it's too loud in the beginning. Okay, or if it's too soft, if you can hear it properly. I'm going to start. Let's get into it. Seventh expansion. To fly freely at the speed of sound, like a fighter jet. To fearlessly withstand all attacks like a tank. To wield the weaponry of a fortress, a warship. What if all these superpowers were compressed into the left arm of a single soldier? I'm not talking about some sort of comic book hero. What you're looking at is the next generation of soldiers who will defend world peace. I think it's going to start with the demo stuff again, yeah. But we'll definitely go past that. The Aerial Augmented Infantry, otherwise known as the Gauntlet Knights. And I'm glad I'm doing it again because last time I did it I was sick and my voice was dead. This time I get to do it properly, so it's a blessing kind of in the way. This elegant gauntlet, worn on the left arm and reminiscent of medieval knights, contains all the weapons and technology humanity has given birth to thus far. It controls all the 8MS in their bodies and the surrounding air, enabling them to free themselves from the laws of the surface world and surpass them. The video showed a lone boy soldier wearing a gauntlet on his left arm, standing on a massive airstrip. Oh, hello, Theoria. Welcome to the stream. A whistle blew, and his body floated to upwards about 10 centimeters. He literally was floating. Cutting-edge 8MS techniques made it possible to create and control force fields, releasing his body from gravity. The whistle blew again, and his floating body danced like a bird, flitting about the space over the airstrip at will. Gauntlets give soldiers the same mobility as an aircraft. Their maximum speed is in no way inferior to the best fighter jets from around the world. And the powerful Gs that would normally put a harsh burden on them have been eased thanks to the anti-G 8MS in their bodies. This allows them to fly in ways pilots of existing aircraft could have never even dreamed of. And when taken to an extreme, even ricochet flying is possible. The video changed scenes. A gauntlet knight, practicing in the skies above the training grounds, was being recorded from behind by a friendly plane in pursuit. One moment, the gauntlet knight was seen flying in the elegant, familiar way of a plane, and the next, his trajectory became complicated and bizarre, as if it was being bounced at odd angles like a diffuse reflection of light. Because it looked like they were rebounding fiercely off the walls of a pipe as they flew, this was known as ricochet flying. As the word ricochet suggests, the gauntlet knight kept flying at fierce, sharp angles without losing any of their speed. Normally, flying like this would put an enormous cheese on their brain and all over their body, lightly killing them instantly. However, 8MS technology has freed them from all of the ground's restrictions. Even amazing mid-air movements like these are now possible. And I want you to pay close attention to this footage. This is a fire control system trying to target a gauntlet knight. As it tried to target the ricochet flying gauntlet knight, a computer-controlled sight indicator with prediction lines kept appearing and disappearing. The knight's movement, which ignored the common sense of physics, confused the fire control system and was completely unable to lock on to its target. All fire control systems created so far were completely useless against gauntlet knights. Though they can display this level of mid-air mobility, gauntlet knights are not planes. They truly are infantry, aerial augmented infantry. Their ability to land and take off is completely unrestricted, so they can carry out tactical operations anywhere a human is able to stand. By this point, gauntlet knights already possessed all the strength of fighter jets, VTOL aircraft, and helicopters. So then, what about their weaponry? You're probably thinking that, regardless of their mobility, they'll be completely useless if they don't have the firepower to take down their targets. But when it comes to gauntlet knights, that's an utterly needless concern. The dimension container system, brought about by cutting-edge 4DP technology, made it possible for a person to take massive arsenals of weapons and ammunition with them. The scene changed. A boy soldier who was apparently a gauntlet knight stood still in what looked like a vehicle service station. Set about him in a radial pattern were all sorts of weapons and ammunition, like a weapon bargain sale. There were rows and rows of missiles designed for fighter jets, just as many precision smart bombs, and even several heavy torpedoes designed for major warships. This was clearly more weaponry than your average fighter jet. Furthermore, there were howitzers and their ammunition laid out among them, as well as multi-barreled machine guns with ammo belts folded several times over. And that wasn't all. There were also reconnaissance drones, several types of signal flares, ammunition resupply containers, and various construction kits, with everything down to the slightest detail packed in. This massive set of military ordnance can all be carried by a single gauntlet knight. And if they specialize in carrying capacity, they can fit in the same amount of weaponry as an aircraft attack carrier. Witness the armament of a battleship and the mobility of a fighter jet. This is a gauntlet knight. But that's not all. They also possess an ultimate technique that cannot be reproduced with any currently existing weaponry. Watch and learn. The scene changed, and it now appeared to be an outdoor shooting range. The same gauntlet knight boy soldier stepped forward. Several adult soldiers stood side by side some distance away, all pointing guns at him. Immediately after a whistle blew, the sound of gunfire and smoke rushed toward the boy, as though a bunch of firecrackers had been set off. That was it. Nothing happened. It was a bit of a letdown. Do you understand what just happened? Let's slow it down a bit. The same scene was replayed in super slow motion. Bullets really were thrown from the barrels of the guns held by the soldiers. However, they were all bounced back along with a white glow from a spot directly in front of the gauntlet knight. The next time a whistle blew, a soldier who had been lying prone and wielding a light machine gun sent a signal, then laid down a powerful barrage. I think they did add us some new animations. Yeah, to the demo. Yeah, I think they did. It was so fierce you could see what was happening clearly now, even without the slow motion. This is the Invincible Defense Gauntlet Knights proudly wield, the Rejection Shield! The scene changed again. The same soldier boy was standing in a different part of the shooting range, but this time, the camera was far away from him. After a countdown, the boy was swallowed up by a massive explosion, like something out of a Hollywood film. But when the flames disappeared, he was still standing there with a blank expression, as though nothing had happened. An invincible defense! An easy control over the skies! And the ability to use endless weapons at will! And every little bit of that is all compressed into a single Gauntlet Knight! In this new era, the numbers representing the military might of nations will surely shrink drastically. All we need to know is how many talented Gauntlet Knights each nation has. The screen changed several more times, showing various scenes of Gauntlet Knights training. Sometimes they led fighter jet formations, and sometimes they led aircraft carrier fleets. Then they landed jauntily on the ground, surrounded by a tank division. Come, boys and girls yearning to become defenders of peace! Wouldn't you like to join those who stand at the head of all militaries of peace, blazing the way into a new era? The aerial augmented infantry awaits you. The moment you put a gauntlet on your left arm, you will become a Gauntlet Knight! Very nicely made. Do you think you can get it a bit shorter, though? My back's starting to hurt. Ugh. The old officer rose from a seat in the projection room, rubbing his back. A young, voluptuous female officer who seemed to be a private secretary helped him up. No, sir. We cannot make it any shorter in light of the regulations. Is that so? Very well, very well. Hello, T. Welcome to the stream. By the way, kids like explosions, right? Please tell me if anything is too loud or too soft, okay? Bang, boom, and all that. We've got to add more flashy scenes. Also, the hook in the first 15 seconds is important, understand? I studied film back in the day, so I know all about it. When the old officer started talking proudly, the other officers all took out notepads at once and made a show of writing it down diligently.
Look at this moronic video they've made. As if just putting a robot toy on your arm could turn anyone to a superhuman being.
Music is too loud? You think the music is too loud? Oh wait, let me turn it down a bit then. Is the music okay now? Okay, thanks.
In the first place, these aerial augmented infantry things are still just theoretical. If it was just a portable system for individual flight wielded by specialist troops, that'd be realistic enough. But then you throw in one bit of ridiculous technology after another and call them Gauntlet Knights? What are they, superheroes from some American comic book? True, there weren't any lies in their catalog specs. They could fly like fighter jets, carry weaponry like battleships, and set up invincible barriers like tanks. In that propaganda video, the brat looked like it was flying around happily. Still, the shock protection provided by anti-G8MS isn't invincible. He did a bit too much ricochet flying, and after the shoot, the capillaries in his eyeballs ruptured, eventually rendering him unconscious. If only they'd filmed it in one take, he'd probably still be able to see. Even the dimension container, which worked like a 4-dimensional pocket, kept having issues. Just how many brats have been turned into mincemeat when they tried to open it up, and then immediately got hit by an explosion before they could fire up their rejection shields. Even that rejection shield has only become stable very recently. And if it doesn't work perfectly when a brat's flying at 800 kilometers an hour, all it takes is a lazily flying pigeon to smash their heads to bits. Well, we'll soon have plenty of brats to work with. Put up flashy ads that at least look good, and you'll find all these stupid kids you need. After all, anyone would want to do it. If I'd been in my teens and someone told me I could become the face of our entire military, flying unaided through the sky, I'd be screwed too! Still, a bird in the hand's worth two in the bush. In the end, it'll just be an e-sport, where you can't really fly outside the simulator.
By the way, the aerial augmented infantry boy in this video really is young and bold. I'd like to get a chance to meet him. Do you think you could bring him to dinner tonight?
Oh, that sounds excellent. Captain Okanogi!
Major General, sir? I'm afraid to say that he's already perished in the line of duty.
What? Is that true? What a shame. He looked magnificent. So I was hoping to give his career a boost. Too bad, too bad.
Truth be told, that explosion scene in the video just now was also the scene of his death, Major General, sir. The filming schedule was a bit too rushed, so he must have been overworked. He screwed up with his shield during the flashiest scene at the very end. Thanks to that, we were forced to edit it to make it look like he'd survived a massive blast. God damn it. It's not like we've got the budget for this kind of thing.
Sir, it's about time you went to your car.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Pataki P. Welcome to the streams.
Well then, keep up the good work, everyone. Also, everyone's eyes will be on the Aerial Augmented Infantry Division at the Battle Standard Festival, so make sure you give it your all. By the way, I believe a contestant from here in Japan will be representing the AOU, correct?
Oh, and here's this beautiful CG.
Yes, sir! It's Second Lieutenant Mitake Meow of the 17th Aerial Augmented Infantry Squad, Warcat. Damn it. If that skinny brat's supposed to be representing the rising sun at the International Battle Standard Festival, the world really is screwed.
Welcome to A3W When They Cry 5. Here we go! That was all in the demo. Oh my god. Yeah, it just started with the prologue just like before. Oh my god, here we go. Alright, so I think I got through that much faster than I did in the demo. Oh wow, yeah, it's only been like 20 minutes and I didn't even start until like maybe 3 or 4 minutes in, I don't think. So yeah, I think we're gonna go much further than the demo did, so don't you guys worry, okay? We just have one more scene to go. Just gotta take a sip of water after that. And, Hey, Ruka! We're glad to see you here. Alright, now let's see. Let's read this. Phase 1. I wonder who this narrator is. I'm going to read it in the voice of Berncastle because, I don't know, because Berncastle seemed to be the mascot of this series, so. Thank you for waiting so long for us to prepare. Now, I will finally start up the game. However, are you sure about this? This is merely my personal opinion, but I believe the difficulty level is quite high, given the present circumstances. Still, I am well aware that you know the joy of achieving victory, especially over conditions such as that. This is a considerably high tier of difficulty, after all. Your opponent is already fully prepared. Check the archive if there's anything in the beginning, just in case. Nope. Nothing in the archive. Alright, so are you ready, guys? Are you ready? Let's start from the beginning. Warning, this work was created in Japan in the year 2019. We cannot guarantee that possession of this work in the country you live in confirms to your country's current laws. Furthermore, if possession of this work results in any sort of damages, we cannot be held responsible for compensation. This ominous-ass warning was... I wonder if this is part of the story and they're pulling a Danganronpa V3 on us. Additionally, distributing this work on the internet without the creator's consent, I should say, is forbidden. You must agree to pay us 10 million Japanese yen if you break this rule. If you do not agree to take personal responsibility for owning and reading this work, and the risks involved in doing so, we ask that you uninstall it immediately. I love how ominous that is. This is a work of fiction. Any similarities to real individuals, groups, religions, all of creation, the will of the universe, plans of God, or Vatican document number 34 are entirely coincidental. This work does not approve of any specific ideology, nor does it represent the ideology of its creators. Oh my god, see, this is interesting. I am really curious about this. How meta are we gonna go? Because you know how meta Ryukishi loves to go with his works. Especially this Vatican document 34. I can't imagine what kind of foreshadowing that is. And yep, here's this thing that OA told me about. To all video uploaders, for this first phase, you have permission to record and distribute videos up until the end of the 7th chapter. Poyo! I'll let you know when you get there, Poyo! And, this, yeah, essentially, she told me to just be careful of this warning here. But, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get to chapter 7. I assume that's when all the crazy shit's going to start to go down. But I'll be sure to ask when it's okay to go past chapter 7. But until we get there, who knows? Until we get there, let's continue our streams. That's definitely not going to be on this stream up to chapter 7. I can assure you that. We'll be lucky if we get to chapter 2 on the first stream. The top of Super Tokyo Tower sat 666 meters above the ground. Surrounding it, the scenery of the night stretched as far as the horizon. The hustle and bustle of the surface didn't reach this place, nor did its troubles and complications. The sky is the only place we can be truly free. And there, atop the antenna mast at the peak of the tower, I stood. My fear of heights is now little more than a fond memory. Of course, that's not really such a great thing. In your everyday life, if you jump out a third-story window and seriously hurt yourself because you can't be bothered to go down a staircase, well, that's just a joke among people like us, but a pretty common one. Just to check, I glanced at my left arm. It was clad in a bulky contraption that resembled some piece of European armor. That device, which extended from my shoulder to my fingertips, was unsurprisingly called a gauntlet. Knowing it was there meant that I could relax and forget about the laws of physics. Whew. I let out a deep breath and gathered my wits. Then I slowly extended my right foot into the black void, the nighttime sea. Gravity pulled on my entire body, and I slowly fell forward. I dove into the nighttime sea. The gentle change caused by gravity was soon accelerating me towards the ground at an incredible pace. I was in free fall, where the visions of heaven and earth swapped. A natural free fall without any force field manipulation feels the best. My body felt faster and faster. I could never get enough of this sense of acceleration. I was probably getting near the ground, but it felt as though I could sink forever through that black nighttime sea. Part of me wanted to wax poetic, but this was simple vertigo. The sum of my mental data, not including sight, left me fully aware of the speed and trajectory of my fall, as well as the surrounding terrain and the time to impact. The instant before I smashed into the asphalt of the Shuto Expressway, I kicked off the empty air, and the ballistic curve of my descent snapped into a right angle. In the vacant space side launch mount, something blossomed, delicately bathed in white phosphorescence. They floated in the air, incredibly beautiful, almost as though an angel's feathers had been scattered about. 07's expansion presents Ciconia When They Cry. Welcome to A3W. Gravity no longer bound me. Though my body was that of flesh and blood, it now soared like a swallow. I'll glide so low, I'll be a hair's breadth away from scraping the asphalt of the Shuto Expressway. A train bridge came into sight before me. Across it raced one of those new steam engine locomotives that just debuted this year. The steam engine is synonymous with economic revolution and kicked off a wave of technological advancement. It was also the first step towards mechanized technology. I doubt any of the great technological geniuses of the past would have expected to make a comeback after the nuclear age. Of course, though it resembles an old steam engine, its operating principle is completely different. After coal, then oil, then the atom, humanity got its new hands on a new ultimate fuel. It was called spiritium. When spiritium engines convert energy, they expel large clouds of a mist that resembles water vapor. And so the haze of countless spiritium engines' exhaust had become the mark of a massive city. I happily burst through the vapor billowing out of that steam locomotive. A forest of skyscrapers awaited me on the other side. All over were buildings with Victorian and Art Nouveau themed designs, like a scene out of the 19th century. The brick facades and spires were beautiful. The golden glitter of the brass steam pipes tangled over every surface was also gorgeous under the floodlights. There were also Japanese-style electric billboards that just burst through it. That slightly twisted yet extremely appealing contrast was the essence of the Tokyo metropolis at night. The cityscape, style, and fashion sense were all reminiscent of the 19th century. However, behind the artistic veneer celebrating the rebirth of an economic golden age lay state-of-the-art inventions that could fairly be called the ultimate in human tech. At the cutting edge of the cutting edge, it had finally become possible for a flesh-and-blood human to fly like this. Of course, this power was only available to a few people so far. I was one of those lucky enough to enjoy this privilege. Every era and every society is fundamentally crap when you get right down to it. But there's one thing I can say. Being granted the ability to fly freely like this makes me glad I was born in this era. Being careful not to fly too high, I raced through the forest of skyscrapers and billboards. This felt way more like flying than staring down from above did. The newspapers kept saying that we should cut down on the number of electric billboards to avoid disrupting the city's scenery. I kind of liked this look. After all, Tokyo has looked like this since the day I was born. Why should I give a damn about the ancient Tokyo those adults long for so much? This is our Tokyo. As I continued to pick up speed, I slipped past billboards that just out over the road and seemingly competed with one another. Raider Tokyo Securities, Miyu's Burutu, Yao Yorozu Life Insurance, Cure-All from Manchito, Mental Displays by Fujix, Cat Karaoke Sushi Cosplay, now get 101 SR wheel spins free. Oh, even in the future they still have gacha. Jeez. Asai Foodstuffs. Eat wisely, mighty soldiers of a rich nation. Snacks recommended by the National Defense Boys Club. Coca-Cola! The Coca-Cola bottlers are the official sponsor of the International Battle Standard Festival of Peace. I glanced down and saw a gleaming swarm of cars blanketing a highway that wound through the downtown district. The exhilarating feeling of gliding right all over them was by far the most primal part of the primal joy of flying. You know, you forget this feeling if you don't fly every now and then. It's only natural that flying through the air is exhilarating. At that moment, a little frog character hopped into the corner of my mental display. It was Cellcom's beloved mascot, Caro Pollo. Then it made a mental announcement with that funny default voice. A friend has arrived, Pollo! Immediately, a friend started talking to me through my Kizuna. Who the heck's doing that? I'm busy focusing my mind, remembering my primal self. Well, I guess there's only one person it could be.
Hey! Taking a nice relaxed pleasures flight in a place like this? Leave me alone. I'll bet you haven't warmed up enough yet, huh? Well, Super Genius Jaden has come to play with you.
Sheesh, you're such a pest. It was my annoying partner. He never leaves me alone, even when I'm trying to focus my mind in solitude.
Yeah, warming up's important. For someone like you, at least. Huh! As if you didn't expect me to show up right about now. I'm flying for my own sake. It's not like I was waiting for you, or anything. You're such a cute tsundere, meow. What a pain in the ass. Okay, sure, I'm in. I don't want people blaming me if you screw up later on.
Activating dimension container, pour low!
I love this music. I love this music.
So, are we using competition rules? Activating Replaceable! Friendly unit Jaden located. Registering as hostile, poor yo!
Nah, we can leave it like this. You like this place, right?
Hostile unit Jaden has activated its Reaper's Eye! It has been located, poor yo! Shh! Don't act like you're doing me a favor by saying that.
We don't need a killjoy like rules. Let's just go all out on each other.
While we smack talked each other, we both started circling the new Spiriton building, hiding behind it. It blocked our line of fire, but in a gauntlet fight, cover like something from an infantry battle meant nothing.
Time to get started.
Let's play.
I love that expressionist. When Meow thrust out his right arm, a burst of luminous angel feathers danced around it, and one after another, guided missiles winked into existence. It looked like ancient magicians summoning familiars. The missiles launched one after another, circling around the building and aiming for Jaden on the opposite side. Then, not a beat later, Meow summoned into existence a massive seven-barreled Gatling gun, big enough that it covered his body. After all, just as Meow had launched guided missiles around the building, Jaden had launched missiles back at it. I still don't understand how they're not destroying the city with this. Holy shit. Is it like a virtual reality area or like another dimension? Or are all these weapons virtual? I'm trying to understand that. I wonder if it'll be explained later on. The missiles that appeared one after another from beyond the skyscraper were met by Meow's Gatling gun. They were rapidly caught by this hailstorm of bullets, exploding one after another, bursting the skyscraper's windows to glittering dust. The Gatling gun, which floated in the sky above Meow's right hand, was exactly like those loaded onto warships to defend against anti-ship missiles. These were supposed to weigh over 9 tons. However, it continued to float there over Meow's arm, as if it weighed nothing at all, nothing at all, nothing at all.
I see the way you're guiding your missiles as twisted as ever, Meow.
Jaden intercepted Meow's guided missiles, which had come flying around him in the same way. If they had come flying via traditional maneuver, aiming directly for their target, it would have been easy to intercept them. However, these two could control the flight paths of all the missiles they launched. For that reason, no computer could completely intercept a volley of their high maneuverability missiles as they approached along such complicated trajectories. The missiles were being guided by humans, so it took a human to intercept them.
Your missiles are pretty twisted too.
Duking it out with you would make it even anyone twisted.
They circled at high speeds, shooting down the missiles that chased them one by one. Naturally, both were simultaneously guiding missiles, intercepting them, and also controlling the speed and direction of their own flight. It would be impossible for a normal person to do this all at the same time. That's why Gauntlet Knights were admired by children. No, by people everywhere. In a battle between superhumans like this, how you fool your opponent is vital. Even games that appear to be completely intellectual, like chess and shogi, are eventually decided with a physical contest, depending on the glucose levels in your blood. They were being chased by swarms of missiles flying in complex trajectories, constantly intercepting them, while still firing missiles themselves and looking for a chance to corner their opponent. Doing so was brutally exhausting. And the instant you gave your opponent an opening, they take advantage of it and end the whole thing. That was how a standard one-on-one fight between Gauntlet Knights went.
So, you think you can win if it's an endurance dogfight, huh? Don't forget, Meow!
I know. You're a super genius, right?
Yep! I'm Super Genius Jaden!
The next instant, Jaden scattered glowing feathers through the air as he changed his movement pattern. He turned at a right angle, heading straight towards the floor of the building. He burst through the massive glass window and flew inside.
The entire 58th floor of the Muse Meridian building is a single observation deck restaurant.
He raced through the empty restaurant, sending tables flying. While playing a fierce game of tag with guided missiles, Jaden had also been investigating. He had accessed the floor plans for the Muse Meridian building that had been the center of their dogfight. The building screening the two of them from each other had instantly become a shortcut.
You little... I'm a super genius! Hear me roar! Ah!
Jeez. Okay, there we go. That takes a lot out of me. The entire building was pierced as he performed an all-out body slam backed by a force field. Despite that, Meow just barely managed to dodge. He kicks off the empty air and sent glowing feathers flying, changing his direction in a right angle and plunging straight down. Of course, Jaden hadn't been naive enough to hope that his surprise attack would land a clean hit. However, in dodging, Meow had been forced to make too sudden of a vector change, and the anti-G8MS in his body had used up almost all of his energy in an instant.
Energy depleted! Beginning recharge player! Until you fully recharge, you can't do anything at all, player!
Without any energy left, Meow lost all control and could do nothing but let himself free fall straight down. His energy would recharge soon, but in an extreme close combat situation like this, that pause would be utterly fatal. Jaden was looking down on him from above in complete control. Their raw, unaugmented gazes crossed. Jaden swung his right arm down, scattering glowing feathers about as he summoned a 50 caliber heavy machine gun.
Enemy using Jaden has achieved target lock. Energy recharge in progress. Evasive maneuver is highly recommended, Poyo! But too bad, Poyo! You're still recharging, so you can't do anything, Poyo! Oh, but even if you're free fall, you can still pray, Poyo!
God damn it, this new version of Kiropoyo sure is an asshole!
Gotcha! Meow!
Ignition.
Huh?
Even when supplemented by the Reaper's Eye system, which makes it possible to observe the entirety of the surrounding area, people tend to focus on a single point when they get excited. In that instant, all other directions become blind spots for them. So by the time he saw that, it was already right behind him. At exactly the time Meow made his emergency dodge downward, he had summoned a missile directly above himself. He had just summoned it in midair, nothing more. It was merely a floating object, not guided or moving in any way, so it had entered freefall and was now right behind Jaden. However, it wasn't as though he hadn't given this missile any orders. It had just one, and that was to explode after a few seconds' delay. A massive explosion engulfed Jaden from behind. An instant later, pure white angel feathers were scattered all over the area in front of the blast. It was a sign that the rejection shield had blocked the explosion. A gauntlet knight wouldn't succumb to an attack like that. They could fly about at will, arm themselves at will, and also shield themselves at will. It was an invincible shield usable only by gauntlet knights who could perform a Drysid conversion on Spiritium unaided. A rejection shield. They could extend it instantly, blocking any sort of attack. However, depending on the strength of the attack and whether the defender was taken by surprise, doing so could expend a massive amount of energy.
You got me!
As if I'd let you win with a little trick like that. It had been a completely unexpected trap, and it had resulted in a blast at the back at extreme close range. Jaden had used up almost all of his energy in an instant.
Triggering it at such close range would have taken you out with the shrapnel too, but if you got me to put up my shield and block it, you really are crazy, awesome, and totally screwed up! Meow!
Sending glowing feathers scattering with the last of his energy, Jaden rapidly accelerated towards Meow. And Meow was in free fall, waiting for Jaden as he came to settle it.
Jaden! Meow!
Surrounded by dancing fragments of glass, glowing wings, and shrapnel from the blast, the two men with raised fists collided!
Gotcha!
As the pair descended in free fall, two punches containing all of their strength crossed. It was a cross counter. So, would they take each other out? No. The victor was clear.
If you're short, that means your arms are short too. Right, Meow?
Jaden's right straight definitely reached Meow's cheek, but Meow's right straight didn't make it. The difference in reach was obvious.
Damn it!
In the end, the showdown between Gauntlet Knight aces was decided not by wit, nor physical strength, nor glucose levels, but by height alone. Their energy was recharged, and they regained control, rescuing them from the shackles of free fall.
I hate this right arm. Give me a saw. It's coming off. And I'll replace it with a rocket fist. Sweet. Let me know when you do. I'll even give you special permission to punch me. That's a promise, okay? Don't you go forgetting it. Still, I'd expect no less from you, Meow.
I thought I'd launched the perfect sneak attack, but if it had been perfect, he wouldn't have been able to set a trap so quickly. I'll bet he figured I'd come at him through a shortcut and waited for me. I moved first, so I was able to make it through the chaos somehow, but if I'd been a heartbeat slower, and if Meow had finished his preparations, I probably would have been taken out neatly.
Not bad, partner. I may have won by a nose, but the battle's far from... I'll let you win, obviously. I mean, you always get pissed when you don't win in the end. Naturally, I lost on purpose for the sake of your mental health. Huh? And I was trying to be a gracious winner, too. No matter how you look at it, my trap worked perfectly, and I won. In a real battle, it wouldn't end with a punch. And my recharge would have been at least 1 second sooner. Then if it was a real battle, I would have blown you away with a force field and slammed you against the wall, winning. Ah, damn it. We almost closed out that scene so neatly, and now you've ruined it.
Though he said this, Jaden laughed, looking somewhat amused. Meow wasn't really the sore loser he sounded like. They had both just been scuffling and playing, and look now, he's smiling too. However, his expression transformed utterly a second later.
But you know what? That was way too reckless. Putting your body on the line with a sudden sneak attack like that. In a real battle, we would have taken each other out. Or you might have hit the building and blown yourself up. Aren't you supposed to be a super genius? Then don't fight in a way that'll end with a mutual kill with both you and a super normal enemy. I know that. We were playing, so I just had a bit of fun, okay? And that's not all! The paths of those first suppression missiles were too simple. You keep getting stuck in a pattern without twisting it up a bit. And you wasted time when intercepting missiles. Your trajectory when dodging was weak too. Just look at the trajectory data 3 seconds after you started intercepting missiles. What a pointless maneuver. Get rid of the loss from this part, and you would have had enough energy to finish me off in the final clash. And look at the trajectory data from 23 seconds later, 24.2 seconds later. Make gravity and inertia your friends, instead of wasting your anti-G8 MS. Hey, are you listening to me, super genius Jaden? Great, here comes lecture mode Meow.
Meow sent him bits of battle action data, one after another. marked with red annotations. At first, I thought this guy was so annoying, acting like he was my instructor or something. I love that blush on his face! Oh my god, it's too cute! However, when he lectures people, he's definitely not letting his emotions get the better of him. The things he points out are always accurate. And most importantly, he really does watch people. Normally, in a fight, you only think about how you're going to take down your opponent, about how super strong you'll be when you win, right? Meow is always watching his opponent when he fights. Always thinking. It might sound weird when I put it this way, but he's always seriously thinking about his opponent's feelings. Aww! However, the way you demonstrated parallel thinking, by searching for a way to strike back while playing tag with missiles, wasn't bad. You used evasive maneuvers to give yourself a moment of time to stockpile your mental resources, which you then employed effectively. Judging by your level of strain, you minimized the amount of unused mental resources throughout the fight.
Well, it's not like I can leave any of my brain unused in a fight against you, Meow.
See? He really does look closely at his opponent's feelings. He may never miss it when someone gets clumsy or screws up, but he also never misses it when people work hard. I tried, in my own way, to make use of the precious advice he gave me in our previous match, and it looks like he really noticed.
You tried, in your own way, to have confront the problems you had last time we fought. That's what makes you a super genius, Jaden. Nice work.
Damn it. Why the hell am I blushing at a compliment from a guy? Why do you think, Jaden, eh? Huh? Why, I wonder.
This is why.
This is why? I'd never had any desire to quit being your buddy.
A friend is right for you. A friend is right for you. A friend is right for you. A friend is right for you.
Then my Kizuna's Kirapoyo notified me that a bunch of friends had arrived at once. Sheesh. Can't you let the two of us flirt alone in peace? Oh, jeez! They really are pushing it. Ah, there she is. Goddamn, what a badass name is Gunhild, seriously. Seriously. Just when you should be trying to preserve your sugar levels, you start up an all-out battle.
We didn't do much. Just a bit of a warm-up. Right?
That's right. Just a bit of light stretching.
Your blood sugar levels don't agree.
Friendly unit Lilja has registered as hostile. Friendly unit Koshka has registered as hostile.
Who could have guessed we found a couple of quick kitties playing in a place like this, Meow?
Well, this looks like a place worth smashing.
Hey, Koshka, stop that! This is no time for a battle! I would forget you for having fun in a place like this, when we were getting bored to tears by that ceremony, Meow. Meow, meow, meow.
I was so bored. Time to blow off some steam to make up for it.
Lots you can take down the others first, Meow. There's no way I'd ever lose to a hack like Koshka, Meow.
Don't make me laugh. I'd take you out and all the others and crush you.
Go ahead and do it if you can. I'll beat up Meow and Jada and flat you upside down in Siberian permafrost. Meow, meow.
Enemy units Lilja and Koshka has activated Reapers Eye. You've been targeted, Puyo. Enemy unit Lilja is summoning an anti-arm mine dispenser, Puyo. Enemy unit Koshka is sending an anti-gauntlet sniper rifle, Puyo.
Hey, just stop it already. The unit structure's gonna get mad at me.
Odds of Chloe getting chewed out by the instructor now at 99% for you.
I can't take this anymore!
Good grief. Meow, Jaden. Are you sure such a light warm-up was enough for you?
No, I was just thinking it was time for a real warm-up. Right, Meow?
Yeah. This time, let's check our ability to work as a team. If you take a gamble like last time, I really will punch you, okay?
Sure. I'll just wait for you to get a rocket fist that can actually reach my face.
Then it's decided. Chloe, we should warm up a little too.
Funny in a gun now that's registered as hostile! What? No!
Friend unit gunbuild initiated AMS surveillance and is now providing data to friendly units for you. Enemy unit Chloe has become accessing Super Tokyo Tower's anti-air cannon Sakura 1 and Asuka 1 for you.
She may try to hide it, but Chloe's totally on board with this.
Just let me take all of you out! Instructor, none of this is my fault! I'll happily take first strike, Meow. I'm gonna eat everything up. Not gonna leave a scrap for Kashka.
If you give me my target lineup, I'll skewer you.
Do it if you can, Meow Meow.
Here they come. Let's go, Meow.
Yeah. I'm so fired up. I couldn't care less about the battle standard festival of peace.
It wouldn't be fun any other way, Meow. For you, sorry, jeez. Okay. Ready? Fight for you!
Alright! And we caught up with the demo exactly 1 hour in. Woo! We caught up with the demo exactly an hour into the stream. Awesome. Here's all our characters. We get a full opening song and everything. Look at this CG. And here's all the other characters from other countries and stuff. I really want to hear the full song like this. Look at all these characters. There's so many. And there's those three. I love this song. Music by Dai and a bunch of translations of Witch Hunt, who started out as fan translators that got recognized by Ryukishi himself and now are official translators. Bye, Apparition. I'm so glad you could come as long as you could. Thank you so much. All in the name of guiding humanity down the right path. How ominous. Here we go. First new stuff.
No matter how far virtual reality advances, it will never compare to the shock of the body's 5 senses.
Suddenly, all 5 of the audience's senses were struck by an ear-splitting roar that rumbled down to the pit of their stomachs, as well as other sensations like the smell of iron and oil mixed together.
Just now, 5 shiny silver fighter planes passed right over us, dancing through the sky above the International Battle Stand Festival of Peace at Gifu Stadium. Flying at their head was this year's host, Japan of the Arctic Ocean Union.
So that's AOU, okay?
On either side were fighters from the Europe-Middle East Alliance, the Central Ocean Union, the Africa Commonwealth Realm, and the Latin American Treaty Organization.
I'll see you, OA. I'll message you later. Yeah, you gotta go. That's totally understandable.
That was a joint flight of fighters from the 5 great factions. Just magnificent. What a fitting ceremony for the Battle Festival Standard of Peace. These warriors of peace has honed their skills day and night to defend peace on this planet, and the crowd can't get enough of them. Let there be eternal peace in this world. And thank you, warriors of peace, for supporting the walls of peace from both sides yet again today.
Ooh, what is the walls of peace? That seems like a very that seems like an oxymoron here. The walls of peace. The walls. Oh my God. James F. Kennedy. Interesting. So not John F. Kennedy. So there's some kind of parallel universe. The walls of peace will surely crumble, if not supported from both sides. I wonder, is Instructor Okanogi or a different character? I'm gonna just, let's see, Instructor, and it's not Okanogi. Let's see. And this is what we call Dominick's Barrel, or sometimes Kennedy's Powder Keg. After saying this, the instructor wrote Kennedy's Powder Keg on the electronic blackboard behind him, and an illustration that resembled a keg appeared. Both the letters and the illustration were drawn very poorly, and the students all giggled. It's not Okanogi, thanks Niggles. Unimportant character, okay, thank you. The instructor was teaching while walking amongst the students' seats, his hands clasped behind him. Though the blackboard was far away from him, he was directly drawing and writing on it. He was using a brainwave input device, also called a mental tablet. Once, we needed hands to manipulate the writing tools. Keyboards and equipment needed to leave records. However, humanity in this world had gained the ability to not only write letters, but even draw pictures without using their hands. However, no matter the device, only the young could use it to full capacity when it's brand new. So the aged instructor still wasn't used to it, leading to these rough letters and drawings that didn't suit his high upbringing and education at all. As you can see, the keg is a cylindrical container made of several boards bound together. Since my drawing is so pathetic, I ask that all of you who lack an imagination do an image search. If you can have a tablet in your brain, then of course you can have a display there too. Some of the more serious students did a serious search for the word keg, which is going to display it as an image inside their brains. I know where that's going to go. I know what's going to happen with that. Yeah. There's less serious. We're using their mental displays to watch TV, play games, or else chat with their friends in virtual rooms. Nearby people had no way of telling what someone was looking at in their mental display. Also, if you wanted to chat with your friends, there was no need to move your mouth. You could use mental transmissions to talk without speaking. And so, both the serious and non-serious students gave birth to an ideal environment for themselves. Kennedy's powder keg represents the gunpowder of conflict, sealed in a container where the military efforts of each individual country formed the boards. Then a red line was drawn on the picture of the keg on the blackboard, and one of the boards was removed, leaving a gap. However, what if just one board was short and left a gap? Naturally, everything inside the keg would pour out. Kennedy's powder keg tells us that even if a single country fails in its military efforts for the sake of peace,
The gunpowder of conflict will pour out from there and explode. Once, military power had been necessary to protect the safety of one's nation. In every nation, in every era, young people who take on the responsibility of protecting their country have been praised for their patriotism and service to the state. They're like white blood cells in the human body, and nowhere never finds anything odd about praising them. However, after massive losses caused by 2 world wars and Cold War brought about by nuclear weapons, and particularly after the advancement of data storage techniques that allowed the inhumanities of war to be seen far and wide over and over again, some of humanity had developed what may be called a war allergy. Then, when the Great Depression at the end of the 21st century kicked off a fierce economic downturn, people in countries around the world started talking seriously about reducing military spending. Taking advantage of that, pacifists began a major global campaign. That movement received an international tailwind, getting heavy support from people all across the world, made poor by a social security system that had been crushed by the Depression. Certain politicians played to the masses and rode this tailwind, building up bases of support all over the planet. They spoke pleasant-sounding words of world peace and love for all humanity, leading the charge for a unilateral disarmament in certain countries and earning wide acclaim. All across the world, videos were shared of soldiers returning their medals and leaving the army, claiming that being a soldier was a shameful way to serve one's country. The first few who started this boom were praised by the press, and many clamored for them to have them nominated for the Bernard Peace Prize. The whole world praised this as a beautiful story, one who would encourage all who suffered under the Great Depression. Every day the news told stories of countless soldiers leaving armies as an act of self-criticism against the military, to the applause of the people. And it delighted in showing stories of tanks and fighter jets being scrapped, giving the numbers for how much that is saved in construction and maintenance cost, and comparing that to how many babies could be fed with the same funds. It was a global disarmament boom. If all neighboring countries had reduced their militaries at the same time, this would have been a wonderful thing. However, as the prisoner's dilemma suggests, strategies that basically assume your partner will act with benevolence are less than ideal in affairs between nations. This resulted in extremely tilted military balance across several national borders around the world. At that time, national leaders who disarmed unilaterally were lauded as pioneers of world peace and given several international awards. However, in the current A3W era, their reputation had done a 180. They were condemned for abandoning their support of the walls of peace that separated countries and accused of the same negligence in their duties towards world peace. Provided determined to arms races and security dilemmas, while shrouding the gunpowder of war by maintaining a suitable military balance between all countries. This is the philosophy of the IPMA, the International Peace Mediation Association. And it is how a healthy military balance preserves world peace. World War III had several causes, but some likened it to a human body, where a nutrient imbalance had triggered a great illness. That led to the concept of world peace preserved by a healthy military balance. For example, Japan once polished rice because it tasted better that way, which led to vitamin deficiency and a disease called beriberi. They removed the bad-tasting bran, but they didn't realize that it contained vital nutrients. That bran was like military might. True, military might does have a violent and inhumane side to it. Any humanitarian claimed that it tasted bad. However, when they polished it off and threw it away, it resulted in a fatal nutrient deficiency for certain nations. When military might only exists on some sides and not others, it's easy to enter an irreversible situation. It was like trying to climb a mountain without a safety line. You'll be fine as long as nothing happens, but if something unexpected occurs, there won't be anything left to support you. One of World
War III's other causes, populism, led to increasing friction between neighboring countries, and placed a lot of pressure on border regions. That would have been a problem if those borders, those walls of peace, had been supported on both sides. However, whenever one side refused to support these walls, they fell over easily, inviting a situation that couldn't be undone. Military might is an element that tastes bitter to humanity. They've chosen to view it as a mineral, a micronutrient that's necessary for the body to function. Everyone knows that if you pile up zinc and iron and manganese on a table and eat it, it'll be harmful to your health. However, these are essential nutrients that you can't afford to be deprived of, and you need to continue ingesting them in suitable quantities. In the same way, a nation's military might needs to be maintained to a suitable degree to bring about healthy relationships between countries. Or so they say. As a result, military might was viewed in a different light in the A3W area, as a micronutrient for nations. The tendency to think of soldiers as murderers and enemies of peace was done away with. After all, soldiers of your country were fundamentally war buddies, even to soldiers in neighboring countries, and they all worked together to support the walls of peace. The social rank of soldiers rose, and the world became one in which children didn't hesitate to say they wanted to become soldiers when they grew up. Soldiers no longer existed for the purpose of defeating their opponents. They were redefined as servants of international peace, who protected not only their own country, but also their country's neighbors. They supported the walls between countries, preparing for unexpected situations in nearby nations that even those nations wouldn't have wanted, and protecting them from developing into something irreversible. Even the closest spouses and friends fight sometimes. Soldiers who supported the walls of peace were like cushions wedged in the middle of fights like that, preventing a fatal situation from developing so that everyone could laugh it off and forgive each other in the end. Okay, it's him. It's not interesting. So his name is Tojiro. Interesting. So is that Tojiro? Jiro. Is it? Wait. Is his last name going to be Tomitake? If it is, that's going to be insane.
Humans really are crazy, huh?
Oh, wow. She's in a very Egyptian style. Interesting. Think so? Two people who looked very different from these students watched this lecture through their mental display. She reminds me of Alice from Virtue's Last Reward, but she's dressed more modestly. Interesting. They seem to be amusing themselves with it, rather than attending it. Ooh, the music. I mean, whenever organisms gather together, it's to increase their chances of survival, right? In other words, they gained enough military might to protect themselves against outward foes. Isn't projecting something like that basically sacrilege against the miracle of life on this planet?
No. I wasn't trying to criticize people for praising strong militaries.
Oh, you weren't? Then what are you trying to say?
I don't care if you criticize or praise militaries. As you said, Grandmaster, military power is a natural right you have as a life form to increase the odds of your survival.
If you want to, make sure you're not at work, and if you want to, make sure you look up what Alice from Virtue's Last Reward looks like, and you'll see what I mean. She is absolutely... Just make sure you're not at work when you look that up. She is not modestly dressed, I can tell you that.
And it's also a natural obligation you have for the sake of protecting your descendants, who cannot protect themselves. But at the same time, it's also a double-edged sword that could hurt both you and your neighbors. So whether you criticize or worship it, We should always continue debating and searching for a better way to exist.
So, what's most important is having people debate all the time? Isn't debate just a means you use to reach an end? I doubt you can guide the common man if your means become your ends. Huh, that phrase is an Umineko reference. Interesting.
True, debate can easily lead to wasting time. It's not a great idea to...
I'm trying to work out what voice I should give this guy. He seems very laid back.
It's not a great idea to gradually work out a solution when you've got an urgent and pressing issue to deal with. I'm just trying to explain how unpleasant these extreme changes are, and how it's just as unpleasant when nothing changes at all.
Right up until World War III, military might was viewed as evil. Their culture was such that every politician, philosopher, musician, and artist went on and on about love and peace, and how they need to throw away their weapons because militaries were the shame of humanity. There was a world where even whispering about the need for military power on social media would be enough to get someone accused of blasphemy against peace and socially murdered. However, even though humanity disliked military might, that didn't mean they'd abandon their dislike for other races. As a result, the door to World War III was opened not by militaries maintained by nations, but by selfless military actions by individual people with self-righteous ideals.
And now that's totally flipped around, with everyone saying, "Long live the military, thank you troops. I'm gonna grow up to be a great soldier who protects his country and world peace."
Yeah, that is pretty extreme. Hilarious, in fact.
And now if you imply the militaries are immoral in any way, the whole world will call it blasphemy against peace and ostracize you. At first it seemed to be the exact opposite of what they did before, but they're basically doing the same thing. Differing opinions are aggressively silenced, and no one has the guts to actually discuss the issue.
The mind of the masses is like a single bit of data.
You mean it can only ever be 0 or 1?
Yeah, that's it. Are you on the far right side or the far left? They can't see anything beside that. And because that's all the mind can hold, they aren't capable of debate, and they aren't receptive or clever enough to accept a position that's different from theirs.
If you want to strengthen that 1-bit person, there's no choice but to train them, right?
I'll bet that training would be pretty harsh for those 1-bits. By training the 1-bits, they must have meant letting the act of differing opinions collide in debates. However, no matter which time period you look at, history doesn't record many people capable of tolerating different opinions in the name of diversity. Whether it's religions, ideologies, however you like your eggs cooked, the world is full of people incapable of accepting diversity. After all, even people who claim to be for diversity aren't able to accept the existence of people who dispute that belief. It's not at all an easy thing to do. People crowd together with those who share their own views, exterminating all opposing views. That's what debate means to humanity now, as it approaches the 10 billion person mark once again. Holy motherfucker! Jesus Christ! Oh my God! 10 billion people? Oh my God! I really hope some people are living in space. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. It's been like this since before the time of Rome. Sometimes kings urge their subjects to take part in debate. However, the 1-bits never managed to count everything but 0 or 1.
Still, in my opinion, if you can stop thinking and debating, you aren't even human anymore.
You really are a worrier, aren't you? Very well, I shall grant you the title of 8-bit.
You honor me, Grandmaster.
And the people can't do anything but advance in a direction that's been decided for them. Showing people where to go is what a king does. If you're waiting for the common man to gain enough intelligence to take part in debate, I'm afraid the sun will burn out first, right?
Even so, I want to have faith in people.
What if people didn't get kicked around by the consensus, going forward when they say forward, stopping when they say stop, and going left and right when they tell you to? What if everyone could have their own opinions, debate them together, and accept each other? And what if then you looked around and saw that everyone accepted everyone else, and that everyone was moving in the same direction? I hope a miracle like that would occur someday. It might not happen until the day before the sun burns out, and the globe is covered with ice, but I believe we will make it in time. I wonder who these two people are.
Drat. Mizoguchi lost. Come on, isn't judo supposed to be Japan's specialty? Last year, a power harassment scandal threw the association into chaos. Guess that means I win.
Several numbers appeared in their virtual space, and the numbers on Sashat's side decreased and were added to Tojiro's side. This time they were watching a broadcast of the International Battle Standard Festival of Peace. It was a celebration of peace, where countless young people displayed the techniques and hard work they had built up for the sake of this day. However, to the middle-aged people casually gazing at it, it was merely something to compliment or a drink or to bet on. I wonder who these two characters are. A triangular, luxuriously designed table was lit by a faint light. Until your eyes adjusted to the darkness, you wouldn't be able to see anything else. Then a white hand suddenly stretched into that darkness. That hand was holding a small bag with gold embroidery.
Open it.
As you wish. In that case. Ooh, how Illuminati. The contents of the bag were laid out on the table. It was 3 coins. 2 of them were gold, and 1 was silver. Always keep your eyes open. After all, you people will never know when that time will come. Vier Dreisig. I wonder, are these like Berncastle's poems from Higurashi? Dreisig is a character in the story, clearly, because they were talking about the Dreisig conversion. Oh, just like Umineko, here we go. What is this? We have the clock, but it's a crazier clock. And there it is! Gondarenko's famous Ustogari! The AOU Russian army really has been focusing on its judo. Japan removed it from its army's training routine just last year, but I'll bet this stirs up another fiery debate in this country. We've just received some new information. In the striker class group tank competition, Second Lieutenant Alberto Garcia of the LATO Argentinian military has successfully achieved the first hat trick of this year's festival. The LATO military has taken a gamble by reducing the ages of all their group tank competitors to under 20. But it looks like it's paying off. They think it's safe to say that youth speaks louder than experience these days. I suppose whether it's blazing a trail to a new era or maintaining the peace, no one is more qualified than the young.
I'd like to see those more experienced soldiers give it their all too.
Okay, Nagels, I'll see you later. Thank you for coming so long as you could. The International Battle Standard Festival of Peace was a competition featuring soldiers from all across the world. Of course, this competition included more than just sports.
Yes, perfect! What beautifully perfect flying! The ABN English Air Force refuses to surrender their place as masters of the art of the skies, and their second lieutenant, George White, truly is a genius even at the age of 18. He certainly has the skill, but his plane is incredible too.
I wonder if these people that are mentioned in passing are going to become characters in future parts. That would be a very Ryukishi thing to do.
He certainly has the skill, but his plane is incredible too. In every part of those blueprints, you can feel the spirit that their designers devote to the art of the sky. Now let us switch over to the maritime competition. At the warship Triathlon Dreadnought class 30 gun division, the heavy bombardment ship Gloria de Lobito from the ACR Angolan Navy has passed the qualifying round with a festival record. Last year, the ACR Combined Navy made an incredible showing. However, we can't forget the COU Chinese Navy's new ship, the Tianjin, which won last year's Central Ocean Cup.
Most events included not just soldiers, but weaponry as well. The way they determined winners and losers was an open, refreshing thing, designed to foster a noble soldiership among the troops who protected world peace together. Of course, there was still a competition, so they fought against members of the opposing factions as if they were enemies. However, when both sides learned from each other and interacted, they grew to respect one another. Every national military from every faction deepened their relationships during the International Battle Standard Festival of Peace. To those who supported the walls of peace from both sides, the friendships that inspired were the best way to prevent war. At the same time, this put military techniques from countries all over the world on display, making it possible for all national militaries to share in new technologies. This way, if a military breakthrough were ever to occur, a breach in the military balance could be prevented. Instead of avoiding military might, its purpose could be acknowledged and a healthy balance maintained, making world peace a reality. That's why the International Battle Standard Festival of Peace existed. Or at least, that was what the event planning committee liked to say. To be perfectly honest, all nations wanted to look good in the eyes of their citizens, so they tried to get good results, earning medals left and right. Since war never broke out, the report card for militaries became the number of medals they won at the festival. In other words, though the young were supposedly the main participants in this event, the expectations of the old affected it significantly. So, though soldiership was supposed to be something noble, there was always talk of bribery and doping behind the scenes. Well, that sort of thing happens in every era. There's no point harping on it. Oh, jeez. Those young people who carried the prestige of their nation were spurred on mercilessly. Only those who succeeded were praised, and those who didn't measure up were abandoned. This happens in all eras. There's no point in harping on that either. It's always the young who are made to compete, and the adults only reward success. The young are always forced to compete because they don't want the adults to abandon them.
You fool! Didn't I tell you not to let your eyes off of Lilja and Koshka? Not even for a second!
I'm so sorry, Instructor.
Why are you causing such a ruckus right before a match? A time when you must be at your absolute peak condition! You knew they would run wild right away, didn't you? But instead, you start going crazy with them! You fool! You imbecile! You nincompoop!
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Come on, if we just have a few sweets, our physical condition will be back to normal in no time, meow.
The most efficient way for Gauntlet Knights to restore their stamina was sugar. In other words, dessert.
Jeez. Oh my god, that's in a lot of different series.
Lilja and Koshka, who have returned from the athletes' cafeteria with extra-large parfaits in both hands, didn't give a damn that Chloe was getting in trouble because of them. They were happily gulping down their parfaits.
The funny thing, this is all because I waited for so long that my turn that it got boring.
Meow, meow. Okanoki, it's really your job to make sure we don't get bored, meow.
You little brats!
Okanogi stamped his feet, but because of his position and other adult reasons, he couldn't hit Lilja or Koshka. So he karate chopped Chloe twice on the head. These kids would be up very soon. Just what he wanted them to be in their best conditions for the sake of their nations and their faction. They had started up a battle royale in the simulator just because they were bored. Were they in the simulator in the beginning? Was that what that was about?
Do you realize how many people worked hard and how much money was spent to get you fools in peak condition?
Oh,
And now you're wasting all that just so you can play with your friends because you're bored? Ah!
Oh, it hurts, Instructor. My heart's gonna kill me.
after going that crazy, it's amazing that they managed to recover so quickly.
That's use for you. Give it a kid some chocolate, they'll be perfectly fine. By the way, this chocolate's delicious. What country is it from?
A Gauntlet Knight's fatigue manifests itself in the brain. It's hard to self-diagnose. You've managed to recover up to 89%, meow. Don't forget that you've got at least 10% of your fatigue remaining.
You don't understand. In this world, there were some kinds of power that you've got to work for, even if it wears you out. Next time, go build up that power on your own. Have some respect for my time.
You say that, but your brainwave data after a match was as good as it gets. Want me to compare it to your historical graphs and send it to you? The data says you're sulking and wagging your tail at the same time.
Shut up. I'm not gonna fight you again. Go staple a picture to me to the wall and do it on your own next time.
Jesus Christ.
You're hilarious, meow.
The conditions of your blood says you still carry some fatigue, but I must admit that your unquantifiable mental condition has improved. The young can be so interesting.
I'm pretty sure you qualify as young too.
Oh, right. How silly of me. I wonder if that's foreshadowing. Is she older than she says she is?
I'll bet Gunhild's mental age has the 1s and 10 stitches flipped. There's no helping it. You never find a parallel processor who isn't weird.
Parallel processor. I wonder what that is.
Still, the skill that you get as a result is honestly amazing.
Well, I wouldn't trust our butts to anyone but old Granny Gunhild.
Gauntlet Knights were typically deployed in 3-person teams. And in the Meow, Jaden, Gunhild team, Meow and Jaden were only able to focus on their offensive role in the front lines because they had Gunhild supporting them from behind. However, she wasn't just a supporter. She was in that role because that's what she was best at. But she was also talented enough to riddle any attacker with holes if they broke through. On the contrary, perhaps because she was so always observed her opponents calmly as a supporter, she actually won most of the time in one-on-one matches against Meow and Jaden. So the supporters are kind of like a boss. If you manage to beat the first two, you deal with the boss. In other words, it's kind of they act as like the main opponent. Interesting. She humbly claimed that she only won because she memorized Meow and Jaden's patterns, and that she'd totally be useless in a real fight. However, Meow and Jaden knew that they could trust their backs to her. Here we go, some background. By the way, Meow was an ace of the AOU Japanese military. Jaden had come from an ace unit in the AOU American military. So AOU has America and Japan in it. Interesting. Of course, Gunhild was an ace too, of the AOU Swedish military. These were 3 of the best aces the AOU had. Groups of 3 people supporting each other's lives like this were sometimes called ket, in imitation of the Air Force, or squads, in imitation of the Army. Meow, Jaden, and Gunhild. They were the 17th Aerial Augmented Infantry Squad Warcat of the AOU Combined Military Central HQ. It was one of the best gauntlet cat in the AOU, Arctic Ocean Union. Okay, so, interesting. And Sweden is yeah, that makes sense. Okay. As Meow's group would put it, they were the honor student cat. Over there was the problem child cat. Jeez. Lilja, Koshka, and Chloe. The 100th Aerial Augmented Infantry Experimental Squad, Grave Mole. Of the AOU Combined Military, Garoi Level 4 had Heavy Military Research Center. Now that is a mouthful. Jeez. Okay, so they do experimental weapons and things. Koshka is attracted to the AOU Russian military, but wasn't a soldier, strictly speaking. It had been kept quiet for privacy reasons, but rumor has it that she had been given some kind of exemption in exchange for participating in some aerial augmented infantry-related research and human experimentation. Oh my god! You can bet that she is going to be a focus character later on. You can bet that. Wow, okay. Jeez. Holy shit, apparently she was officially equipment in the care of Level 4 Heavy Class Military Research Center, which had been loaned out to the military for the International Battle Standard Festival of Peace. Of course, though she was equipment, she was also the highest tier equipment that existed. And she understood her position. Oh god, that is... oh my god. Ugh, I feel really bad for her. I wonder if she has, like she's constantly has all these bandages and everything. Jeez. So, she could do whatever she wanted. She had no desire to listen to her superior officers. And even Okanogi, her instructor, couldn't lay a finger on her no matter how much she pissed him off. Okay, so that's why. This might make it sound like she's utterly self-centered and uncooperative. but apparently she's improved a lot from how she used to be.
What? Is there something on my face?
It's the opposite, meow. You're blocking my way with that big face of yours, meow.
Well then, I'll just gouge out your eyeball so you don't have to look at it anymore.
Jesus Christ. She is a savage.
Huh? What's that? Could you talk a little bit slower? Your hick words are so bad. My cousin, I can't translate them all, meow.
Okay, interesting. So their words are being translated. And I just noticed that Liuja has cinnamon bun barrettes. Oh my god. Pretty funny. Liuja was attached to the AOU Finnish military, but she was officially a military research center's equipment, just like Koshka. Yep, okay, this whole equipment thing is gonna be... Is that the new furniture from Umineko? Is equipment. Interesting. Once again, details about her were unknown for privacy reasons, but well, she was just as much of a problem child as Koshka was. And oh boy, I can tell these two are going to be the focus characters of a future arc. Absolutely. Jeez. Apparently, just like Koshka, she'd stir up all kinds of outrageous trouble, using her special position as the shield. Was she on good terms with Koshka or not? She was always approaching Koshka one-sidedly, teasing her and picking fights. She was also high-grade equipment. Problem child number 2, who always got along with Koshka only when they were ignoring their superior officers.
Stop it! You make your blood condition any worse! The instructor's karate chops really will make my head cave in!
Let's find out if her head actually can do that.
Nice one, Koshka. Let's get wild in the simulator again, meow. Then Chloe will get in trouble again, meow. No! I hate this cat so much!
I hope I'm pronouncing that right, as Ket. Chloe alone wasn't equipment. She was a soldier of the AOU Canadian military. Oh, that is so cute! What sort of unlucky star was she born under? Right after she won through all sorts of aptitude tests and exams, and thought she had become the gauntlet knight of her dreams, she'd been saddled with looking after this crazy equipment. She doesn't seem like she has the personality to want to be a soldier. I really want to know what her story is. And, partly because of this, the instructor who couldn't punch the high-grade equipment would then smack Chloe's head whenever they did anything weird. Chloe was a sad sufferer, always stuck between her instructor and the selfish equipment. But of course, she wasn't just there to take care of those two. She definitely was one of the top-ranked gauntlet knights throughout the entire AOU combined military. She does not look it at all. Does she have like another side to her? I wonder. Does she have like a split personality or something? Or not a split personality, but like a hidden ferocity to her? Because out of everybody, she's the one that seems the least like a soldier in terms of personality. After all, when the selfish equipment went back to the research center for maintenance, she got extremely high grades doing mock battles by herself. Really interesting. These two squads with a total of 6 people were the athletes sent by the AOU, the Arctic Ocean Union, to participate in the Aerial Augmented Infantry Division of this year's International Battle Standard Festival of Peace. Individual countries did compete in the festival, but it was the interfaction competitions
that got people most excited. Nothing was more thrilling than watching neighboring nations work together to achieve victory in the great battle between the 5 great factions that represented the A3W world.
Broadcast booth, are you getting video? Here we are in the Verdi Arena. Finally, the young members of the aerial augmented infantry from all factions are entering the stadium. Oh, the representative from the AOU had just arrived.
And we get a lovely CG of this. Oh, that is so cool. Aerial Augmented Infantry. That was their official title. They were more commonly known as Gauntlet Knights. These miraculous soldiers of the new era wore gauntlets on their left arms, and they could fly on their own through the sky, repel all sorts of attacks, and wield any kind of weapon. At this year's festival, the Aerial Augmented Infantry Division had finally been established, and their true worth had been revealed to the world at large. However, their fights were too dangerous to be held in real space. As was the case for other events emulating real warfare, live fire competitions carry some risks no matter how many safety measures you take. However, if you use mock weapons for the sake of safety, the battle becomes completely uninteresting. So, dangerous competitions generally took place in a virtual location known as the Verdi Arena. Okay, so they are explaining it. Okay, interesting. That said, in a virtual world that advanced as far as possible, the sensations of sight and sound were in no way inferior to reality. Spectators were able to view it as if it was happening right before their eyes. I bet something is going to happen in virtual reality that they think is real, or vice versa at some point. And though the participating athletes were in a simulator room, it felt as though they actually were in the arena.
I wonder what kind of people the other factions are sending.
I doubt there's going to be anyone as normal as you and me.
That's true, Meow. If the world was full of people as crazy as Koshka, it would have been annihilated by now, Meow. Please stop picking fights with Koshka. If even Wildtier, everyone in the world's gonna see it. The instructor's job really will make my head cave in.
My stomach's full and I'm sleepy, so I won't fight back. Ugh.
That yawn was just broadcast publicly. Looks like Chloe really will face the chop when this is over.
Oh! The group that just came in, is that the COU? It is!
They look pretty rivalry. Look at how rivalry they look. Like, they look like the rivals to the main cast.
They're being led by 2nd Lieutenant Lu Lingji from COU China.
So that's Lingji. Is it Lingzhe? I'm not. Let's see.
That ace among aces from the COU.
Her official simulator score is the best in the world. Well, that's probably exaggerated. It is China.
Behind her are Momotake from COU Japan and Aisha from COU Indonesia. Interesting. So Japan is in both of them? How is Japan in both alliances? Wait. Alright, I'm just gonna say it how I did the first time.
There's the COU's best squad, the COU Combined Military, HQ's Imperial Guard Aerial Augmented Infantry Squad by Bow. Remember your training, and we cannot lose.
Of course. As long as I still draw breath, none shall lay a finger upon our princess.
So you're one of those types, eh? I think I'm gonna like you too. The princess and the knight. You remind me of Edelgard, Lingsha, and I really like her, so I think I'm gonna like you. Hopefully you don't do anything too bad. And you, Momotaka, remind me of Felix. A cross between Felix and Hubert, kind of, I would say.
I bet you just wanted to say that. That's what you were practicing in the bathroom earlier, right?
Ugh! No. No way. That definitely absolutely did not happen. How did you know?
Momotaka, you mustn't lose your composure right before a battle.
Even the princess got mad at you.
The next three are from... Oh.
The next two are from Ciconia, the COU Combined Military Central General Corps 1st Branch, the 101st Aerial Augmented Infantry Squad. All these COU people look so serious. I bet if you tell them a joke, they just stare at you coldly and ignore you, Meow.
Let's see if their eyes remain cold once they've been thoroughly beaten.
I mustn't lose to anyone. Not to our enemies. Not to my bow. Not even to my teammates.
Sheesh, how about you chill out for a bit and have fun? Try waving. Hey everybody!
It's Claude from Fire Emblem Three Houses.
If you're looking for Andrew from COU Madagascar, that's me. Come on, you wave too, Rookie.
Hello. I'm Shana from COU Saudi Arabia.
Stop, you two. You're embarrassing us. How many times do I have to tell you not to play along with the nonsense of a careless man who bears no responsibility?
Even though all I did was wave my hand when he made me. Hang in there. Hang in there, Rookie.
Oh god, there's so many characters already. Oh boy, I'm about to. You guys want me to stretch my vocal cords? Here we go. The contestants from the ABN have also arrived. As expected, they're being led by the three members of the ABN Peace Department's Holy 901st Aerial Augmented Infantry Squad. Thalatatsuyu. Oh god. Jeez. Am I going to be able to pronounce that consistently? Thalatatsuyu. Thalatatsuyu.
Whoa, get a load of that pipsqueak in the front.
That'd be Naima from ABN Iraq. From what I heard, she's the ABN's top ace.
Our Peepsqueak is the top ace too.
You aren't talking about me, right?
Hi everyone! I'm in the ABN! Pleased to meet you!
Naima, don't get overwhelmed by the atmosphere. I'm detecting an imbalance in your cranial secretions.
I'm so nervous and excited. My eyes keep spinning and this is so fun!
Stanistar. Interesting. Okay, what can I give him? I've used up all my stoic guy voices. Jeez. What voice should I give you? God damn it. Okay. You look like a main character. Jesus Christ. Oh, of course, George. Take a sedative. It'll affect your performance. But we don't want you hyperventilating before the next match starts. The battle standard festival is a farce. We've already done our duty just by showing up like this. He looks like a knight, so yeah, George fits in perfectly.
And now we welcome the 3 members of the ABN Peace Department's 12th Holy Agent Corps, Yellow Dot Shavit.
Hi there, everyone! We're... Oh, okay, god damn it. 3 characters they're gonna say. We are the 12th Holy Agent Corps, Yellow Dot Shavit.
Today, we'll be showing you the miracle of human harmony, friendship, and love!
Look at the staff seating area. Isn't that Nathan from the Belgian Hot Choir? I'll send you the data! Look right next to him. Isn't that John from the Luxembourg Choir?
So they really are going out! Yeah!
Oh my god. And these cheers are for the representatives of the ACR. That means we have all 4 participating factions present. In front, we have the June 1st King's Tour Memorial Squad of the ACR Royal Aerial Night Corps, followed by the Queen's Cairo Visit Memorial Squad of the ACR Combined Military 1st Aerial Night Corps. Jesus Christ. The time has come to show everyone the glory of the African Commonwealth realm. You may prostrate yourselves before me, foolish masses of the earth.
There's no need for you to do anything, Princess. Please leave this match in our hands. Good plan. If the Princess screws up and embarrasses us, that'll annihilate our bonuses. And if we win, tell everyone all things the Princess' leadership, our bonuses will be doing just fine. As will our reputation.
Gah! If you're going to talk behind my back, do it where I can't hear you! I mean, don't do it!
Look at that crowd! It's so exciting, so tense! Hey, isn't it? Don't you feel the same, Noah? Don't you?
Stop smothering me. Get back, you puppy. Jeez, how did someone this hyperactive ever join the Aerial Night Corps? Well, look, there's plenty of hyperactive people here. Don't you think it's weird, Mariana? I know just how you feel, Gannett. I'm feeling tense too. Pat, pat. Hey! Don't pet me!
I'll hold you up if a cool beak says no to touch me!
Don't touch me, puppy. Your idiocy is contagious. Let's go over there, Mariana. Don't touch me, I hate cold-hearted people. And I love puppies. Let me pet her. These are gonna be really funny. Holy shit, there are a lot of characters. Oh my god. Hey y'all. Remember in Higurashi when we had like 5 sprites in the entire game? Do you remember that when there were literally like 5 fucking sprites in the entire game? And like maybe 8 characters overall? And now we've gotten like over 20, I think. Holy shit. Oh god, I'm gonna run out of voices.
And the final group entering is a team of referees from the International Peace Mediation Association mediation. There's First Lieutenant Valentina of the Leto Brazilian military and First Lieutenant Maria Carmen of the Leto Mexican military. Personally, I would prefer to see the Leto military field a team too, but... well, the military and the police have been arguing over which group the aerial augmented infantry should be attached to. The military won in the end, but sadly they didn't make it in time to apply for the festival.
I'm Valentina of the IPMA military. I'll be reffing this match. And I'm Mara Carmen. Do what we say, or you'll get showered with red cards, okay? Thank God there are a lot of girls, because that's way easier for me. Jeez.
Everyone, can you believe it? These boys and girls are the aerial augmented infantry troops you've been hearing about. Armed with nothing but a single gauntlet, they fly through the air like fighter jets. They're armed to the teeth like warships. And they have invincible shields that can repel any sort of attack. In other words, it's fair to say that right here, right now, the peak of the entire world's military might have been gathered together.
Nothing could possibly go wrong. What are you talking about?
Well, it is an unknown weapon whose true power is yet to be revealed. Even including today's event, their real worth hasn't been demonstrated outside of Verdi. They've become part of this festival starting this year, but before that, the debate over whether this is a military event or an esport kept going on and on.
Interesting. So everything so far have been only done in virtual reality, whereas the real field tests have barely been done. Interesting. Oh God. Jeez. By equipping the cutting-edge technology called the Gauntlet, certain suitable boys and girls could fly like fighter jets, arm themselves like warships, and repel attacks like invincible tanks. Naturally, seasoned soldiers weren't going to just believe something like that. Yes, Ruka! Meow is a pro gamer, yes. If things like the aerial augmented infantry really existed, the whole world's air, land, and sea power would become obsolete. The world's military strength wouldn't be measured by the number of soldiers, but by the number of boys and girls capable of wielding a gauntlet. For that reason, some of the spectators who were former soldiers watched on coldly or sneered at the contestants.
Ridiculous. Little brats flying around in the sky? Which comic are these superheroes from? Soldiers from all over the world train fiercely to protect world peace. Don't you think it's an insult to all soldiers, allowing these kids with their e-sports to participate in the glorious Battle of Standard Festival of Peace? This gauntlet has suspicious from the start. You just know these researchers are eating through their budget based on some on-paper theory.
The older they were, the more they glowered. On the other hand, everyone who was still a minor was held transfixed. Just by putting something on your left arm, you could soar freely through the sky with unstoppable power. Any child would be awed by that, and the adults told them to abandon these stupid dreams and studies since it was all fake. There was more than a little prejudice behind the adults' emotions. Who wouldn't want to fly freely in the sky? If the adults hadn't been able to equip these gauntlets, they would surely have latched onto this new technology happily. However, to use a gauntlet, you needed brains capable of performing a Drysa conversion on the spiridium. Here's the reason why they can only do kids. Okay, let's see. And most importantly, in order to fly in the sky and use your opponent at will, you needed quite a lot of parallel processing ability. You couldn't display such talent without receiving special training and personal experiences from a very young age. Okay, so that's why you have to do something with the developing brain in order to have compatibility with this kind of equipment. Okay, that makes sense. In other words, everyone over a certain age, whose childhood had ended before the necessary technology and training had existed, was automatically disqualified from being a gauntlet candidate. The young could fly freely, depending on their training and aptitude, but the adults could never do it. Furthermore, the combat capability they had honed, after long and arduous training, was no match for the dimension container. You could hardly blame them for having an inferiority complex. Those who had achieved their current position after hard training glared most coldly at all the kids calling themselves Gauntlet Knights.
Damn it! What the hell am I doing babysitting e-gamer brats like this? They're telling me each one of these runts has the same military potential as an aircraft carrier. If that's true, this planet's screwed.
Okanogi, who was serving as an instructor for the aerial augmented infantry this year, bore an imposing array of medals on his chest. Each one was an honorable award, proving that he had withstood grueling training and giving all he could for his nation and international peace.
Well, whether it's esports or video games, they're the same version we do. That means I just gotta whip them into shape.
Oh, is that contestant Koshka of the AOU? That was quite a yawn. I guess she must feel confident.
Oh boy.
You've got 2 emails, Polo!
Captain Okanogi, the Director General, saw Koshka yawning just now, and he is pissed.
Okanogi, is it not your job to see to the health of our contestants? She's actually yawning, isn't she?
Ah, you stupid equipment! Now I'm getting raked over the coals just because Chloe can't do her job right.
Your sneezes are always so fun to watch. Are you okay?
My nose is all itchy for some reason, and so is the top of my head. Chew!
The room was dimly lit. However, that darkness covered dignified furnishings, which evidenced wealth and status, reminiscent of the kings of Europe's feudal age. The ceiling was high enough to be swallowed in blackness, as if it were a realm of gods that humans could never reach. And yet, the most distinguishing feature of the room was that it was triangular. So was the solemn-looking table at its center. And on all 3 sides sat the kings. They were shrouded by crowns and masks, obscuring their identities. Wow, we are going full Illuminati here. Okay, let's see. Their hands were covered by white gloves, so you couldn't even tell their race or the color of their skin. And their voices had been altered by something like a voice changer. However, the fact that their suits were of the finest quality, that even just sitting there, their class and majesty couldn't be mistaken, left little doubt that they deserved to be called kings. They appeared to be watching the International Battle Standard Festival of Pieces competition between aerial augmented infantry units through their mental displays. Damn! Wow! Oh my god, Dimension! Oh my god. I'm guessing these are gonna be people from Umineko. I'm guessing this. I'm just gonna guess right now. Either that or oh god. It's funny because I was just playing freaking AI, the Somnium Files, which was all about the Eye of Wadjet, and this guy's wearing it as a mask right here. Let's see what I can do for these guys.
So, tools of murder had now reached into a dimension such as this.
It is deplorable.
It is deplorable. The masses are like babies. They ignorantly turn whatever they touch into toys. They don't even try to learn what those things are.
What better than the common man's role is not to know. It is merely to obey the guidance of their king.
Thank you, Jestress. Turn off the broadcast.
Ooh. Who is she? Damn, we have so many ominous characters here. Let's see. Who is she? As you wish. After all, mental displays can be quite tiring for the elderly.
Well, even I draw a mental tablet with my granddaughter when she was young, too.
You've been blessed with a wonderful granddaughter. How gracious of her to play along at the dawdling pace of a decrepit mind. This girl, who at first glance might have been a secretary, teased the kings with her harsh words. However, the kings seemed to enjoy the foul tongue of this girl, who must have been younger than even their own granddaughters. Kings who rule at the top and are feared by all people rarely get taunted or made fun of. And so, their culture had long since led them to place an irreverent expositor in their company. This person was known as the court jester. Jestress. Her name clearly referred to a female jester.
How stubborn humans are.
Are you a witch, then, I wonder?
Indeed. When you try to eradicate them, many survive and restore their numbers in the blink of an eye. Ooh. Just like locusts.
It would seem that merely trying is not enough.
Unfortunately, that's how it is. Even if you completely destroy everything, a few human seeds will remain. Noah's Ark failed because they let the merchants on, instead of just giving it to just Noah's family.
This time we must truly return civilization back to square one. Even if we do, I imagine that humans will regain their civilization in just a few centuries.
That is fine. After all, we'll be able to put distance between them and civilization's end. Well now, Jestress.
Yes, sire.
Give us today's report. Is everything going smoothly?
Yes, sire. I've received a report from the Grand Master of the Ninth Crime Chivalric Order, Your faithful servant is far more useful than you old farts. They've succeeded in sneaking members of the Order into Ace Conklin Knight's units from all 4 factions.
Oh god, okay. This is the game. We're gonna play a little oh, okay. We are going to play a little game of Spot the Spy here. Who are the spies? I wonder.
Oh. So the battle stand Replaceable children we just saw.
The 4 factions sent 6 members each, for a total of 24 people. If there's 1 in each group, that means 4 of our pieces have been inserted, yes.
Somebody, I wonder if somebody would take a look at the pattern on her jacket. The pattern on her jacket looks very interesting. I wonder if that's Lambda, if Jestress is Lambda. From Umineko.
Now we just have to wait for you 3 to finally make up your minds.
Has there been any trouble guiding public opinion in each country?
Of course not. Our talented comrades are hiding in media outlets across the world, all in the name of guiding humanity down the right path.
Have you still not found a research center?
We still have the faith that the mighty King of Ridicule granted us, but so far, nothing has tugged on the line.
What a cheap move! If we could catch them at a tail that easily, it would be silly of us to go through this chapter in the first place.
I don't feel like that. If you choose a gamble, you never win. Then we'll wait for good news without hoping for it. After all, fishing requires the patience of a king.
If there's any movement, I'll report it at once.
Now then, gentlemen. Civilization's end is drawing near. We cannot fail again. This time, we must succeed. Even letting loose that many WMDs across the world wasn't enough. And they're locusts after all.
This is our last chance, gentlemen! Our last chance to make use of God's plan and return the fate of humanity to human hands.
Interesting. Oh, Pataki, I have not finished Umineko. So don't spoil answer arcs of Umineko for me, okay? Because I have not read them. I just wanted you guys to, yeah. To make use of God's plan, return the fate of humanity to human hands. Interesting. I wonder. So, then why do they want to destroy civilization then?
We absolutely must not fail.
So they orchestrated the Third World War. It's okay, Pataki. That barely spoiled anything, so don't worry.
Hello, Armor. As you wish. All is in the name of guiding humanity down the right path.
In the name of guiding humanity down the right path.
Wow, Jesus Christ. Who is saying this? To my beloved lady. I'm gonna just assume that this is Burncastle. To my beloved Lady Justress. These people must view the boys and girls of aerial augmented infantry as the most interesting guinea pigs in existence. If I remain concealed here, they'll surely try to contact me in some way. Same, Lucklaster, same. I totally agree. She sounds very interesting. If anything happens, I'll report on it immediately.
Finally, the battle between aerial augmented infantry aces from all factions is about to begin!
Awesome, Arbora. Thank you. See you. Thank you so much for dropping by.
The first event is an attack on a fictional military base. They'll compete on points in many areas, including the efficiency of their attacks and the time taken.
Leandra, Kushka, you be serious when the actual match starts, okay? If you don't, I really, really will use my trump card!
I like breaking things. If there's a plate with so many breakable things in front of me,
There's no way I wouldn't dig it. Meow, meow.
All squads are in excellent condition. We can do this.
I, Super Genius Jaden, guarantee it. With us Warcats and the freaks of Bravemole together, we're the ultimate team!
Oh yeah, Chloe is going to be the instant fan favorite at the top of popularity polls. I can totally, the second I saw her, I know she will be, without a doubt. And it's really fun to do her voice too, so that's another thing.
Warcats and the freaks of Bravemole together, we're the ultimate team!
Yeah, the six of us are the best of comrades, and nothing can shake our bonds of trust. Absolutely nothing. Surely nothing bad is going to happen. Let's do it!
Okay, oh my god. All is in the name of guiding humanity down the right path. I think we're going to reach the end of chapter 1 here. One message has been sent to Jestress. Our bows are in our hands, our hours are our hearts. We shall not falter when we shoot. Oath of the 9th Prime Chivalric Order. All of this is incredibly foreboding, Ruka. Yeah, and I think Gunhild is the most suspicious because she just seems so calm and collected and reserved, seriously. And I'm guessing the Claude XP is also a spy. I think he is. The pink-haired Claude. I forget his name. True, that is true. We could have a different spy revealed each arc.
A new room has been created, Poyo! What would you like to call this room, Poyo?
What should we pick? I suck at stuff like this.
Is this the end of the chapter? Wait, is this the end of chapter 1? I'm confused. Because that sure looked like the end of chapter 1. Does anyone know? Wait, I don't think, does anyone know, if this is the end of the chapter? Jeez. You know what? I'm going to take a risk and cut it here for now, you guys. It's been about 2.5 hours. We will continue this story in 4 days. Oh, so Ruka, so did chapter 1 end? Did chapter 1 end, or is the end like a little after this? Because am I gonna get a save point at a certain point soon, Ruka, or not? Or does it go straight through? Do you know if it just goes straight through? I'm gonna save. It will give me a save point, but only later. Like how long is it gonna be? Do you know? Do you know how long it will be until the save point? Like, is it quite a ways from now, or is it okay to stop here, do you think, for tonight? Oh, okay, if it's an hour, then I'm gonna save here. For tonight, here's our save files. We have 5 pages of save files, but again, this is perfectly reasonable because there's only 1 chapter here. We don't have 5 pages of save files for 4 chapters. Umineko. Here we go, okay. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining me on this, seriously. I love this and I cannot wait to continue. This is going to be continued in 4 days. In 2 days, we will have Umineko. We will continue episode 3 of Umineko, so I hope to see you all there. And until then, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You are all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.